Hello stamping friends, welcome to the April 2015 technique class with Sharon Armstrong. This is the fun little case that you got in the mail from me, or you are getting. Inside it has all of the pieces for your 3 techniques and all the supplies that you need. You could use any stamp sets that you want to create this card. I am using Crazy About You. I love stamp sets that have images and words, and this one has so many different words that you could put together and use for so many different occasions on your cards. I want to show you one thing. These are the photopolymer stamps, and sometimes when you get them, you're like, what does that word say? What does that word say? If you'll just peel them apart, you can read what the words are. See if you can see that. You can read what the words are, and then that way you can match it up. So if I wanted from all of us, I know that it's right here, okay? So I hope that little trick helps you. All right, so inside of your envelope for this card, you will get the card base. And for our technique class, we're doing little, I call them reference cards, so that you can put these with your card inside of the Project Life album that Stampin' Up sells. Don't want to get that in my ink. And so the concept is you would put your reference cards in, and then you could put your card here. It just depends. Now this was last month's class, and this was the card that we're doing in this series. This is the other one. And now the cards do kind of slide out, so I wouldn't worry too much about them. This is the other card for April. Ooh, this is going to be the card for May. Oh, we won't show you that one just yet. But anyway, they do kind of fall out, but it's just a great way for you to have those reference cards so that you know how we did that technique. Okay, so with this card, you're going to get a piece of paper about that big, and that's just your scrap paper for stamping. You'll get your card layer that you're going to be using, and that's also Whisper White. And of course, you get your envelope. You will also see a piece of bubble wrap in your kit, and as a member of the class, you received the technique instructions PDF via email for those who joined the class online. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take a pair of scissors, and this is just oddly cut. I want to kind of cut it in a wave. I mean, it's not perfect, but just to give it a little bit of personality for the background. Okay, you're going to need to use some sharp scissors to cut through that bubble wrap. And so then I want to take, and I'm using Marina Mist, and I'm just going to, I think the best way to do it is just to ink it up this way. Yes, you will get inky fingers. Just be careful when you're touching your Whisper White card base that you don't touch it with your fingers. Okay, so then I want to just stamp right there. Just gives it a really fun background. Now, I told you that you will have your little reference sheets. So you're going to just ink up that again. And then you're just going to stamp it across your reference sheet. Just so you'll remember, what was bubble wrap technique? Oh yeah, she just used bubble wrap, not very hard. Okay, so since I have inky fingers, I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of hand sanitizer. I keep this on my stamp table, and it helps get adhesive off, and it helps get my inky fingers clean so that I don't make a mess with my projects. Okay, so now we are going to do some stamping, and what did I do with my stamp set? There it is. I need to get out my leaves. And we will get a block. I'm using a pretty dark green. This is the Mossy Meadow. And my card goes like this. But since I already had a card like this, I'm going to be turning mine sideways. Just thought it would be a little bit of a variety. So what I've done here is I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment. And I want to show you a little trick when you're stamping your sentiment. I like to use the Stampin' Up! Grid paper. And I've got thanks for being you. And so I'm lining up the stamps using the grid paper. And the reason that I like to do this, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. The reason I like to do this is if I take that long word and put it on the clear block, I might stretch it or distort it. So my words might go up or they might go down. So I have just found that if I lay them down, stamp side down, flat side up, and then I just take a clear block and stick to it, then I've kind of created my own stamp, okay? So I want to use the green. I'm going to use the Mossy Meadow. Thanks for being you. So cute. All right, so now I'm ready to do my stamping of my leaves. And I think I want to go up here. And then I'm going to go just on top of that. So now you see why I chose such a dark green, because I am stamping over the bubbles. All right, so now for our flower, the piece of paper that I put in your kit that is just a scrap piece of paper, I'm using the flower from the Crazy About You. By the way, I am using photopolymer stamps, and underneath my black thing here is I have a foam mat, like a paper piercing mat, so that I have I get a better stamped image. Okay, so this is the punch that matches this stamp, and I'm going to go ahead and punch this out. Now this other flower, I'm going to do a little bit of fussy cutting. I'm going to cut off the outer petals. Okay, I wish there was a punch for everything, but since there's not, we use our good sharp snips from Stampin' Up. All right, so let's put our card together. I'm going to go ahead and attach it to my base first. And my base doesn't want to lay down, so I'm going to go ahead and grab my bone folder and give that a good crease. Okay, and then we need some dimensionals. And I'm going to put dimensionals on both flowers, on the backs. Now I'm going to go ahead and lay that there and decide if I want any other leaves before I actually attach it. And I kind of think I'm okay. I think I'm going to leave it just like it is. And I want to encourage you, if your bubbles didn't all stamp, that's where you would put the flower, okay? That's where you will do, so don't worry about it if it doesn't stamp evenly, because some of those bubbles may pop in transit. I tried to protect them for you, but you know how that goes. Popping bubbles is fun. Okay, and then I'm just going to offset this. And that technique is done. I hope you enjoyed this series, and I look forward to seeing you in May.